You have saved 4 crore rupees in India. You are 45. You want early retirement. But here's the question no one asks: how do you stop your money from dying before you do? I'm a retired technologist who spent 20 years architecting systems for reliability. Now I help people architect their retirement. Let me show you what happens when you divide 4 crore into 3 buckets: equity, debt, and a hybrid emergency layer. And no, it's not as simple as put everything in a fund and pray. Bucket 1 is 1.5 crore in debt growing at 6% annually. Bucket 2 is another 1.5 crore in equity growing at 11% annually. And bucket 3 is 1 crore in hybrid funds at 8% for emergencies or life upgrades. Your annual living expense? 12 lakhs pulled only from the debt bucket. And every year, you increase that withdrawal by 6% inflation. Let's run the numbers like a machine. In year 1, debt starts at 1.5 crore. Add 6% interest, that's 9 lakhs. New balance before withdrawal is 1.59 crore. Now subtract 12 lakhs expenses. This leaves 1.47 crore. In year 2, same 6% interest on 1.47 crore is nearly 8.82 lakhs. Balance becomes nearly 1.558 crore. Withdraw 12.72 lakhs, that is 12 lakh plus 6% inflation. This leaves nearly 1.431 crore. This repeats. Each year, interest adds, inflation eats more. How long until debt bucket hits zero? Let me skip the spreadsheet drama. With 6% growth and 6% inflation-linked withdrawals, the real return on debt is effectively 0% real. That means that the year's debt lasts as equal to initial debt upon real withdrawal. So, 1.5 crore divided by 12 lakhs real, which is 12.5 years. But because interest compounds before withdrawal, we get a bit longer, around 13 years exactly. Let me show you the final year. At year 13, debt bucket is empty. But equity bucket? That 1.5 crore sat untouched for 13 years growing at 11% annually. So 1.5 crore grows for 13 years turns into 5.82 crore. That's the power of not touching equities early. Now what? You don't spend from equity directly. You rebalance. The rule we follow is that when debt dies, split current equity corpus into 2 equal halves. 5.82 crore divided by 2 is equal to 2.91 crore. One half stays in equity. Other half, that is 2.91 crore, moves to debt. But moving from equity to debt triggers capital gains tax. We assume 12% long-term capital gains on the profit portion. The original 1.5 crore equity had cost basis of 1.5 crore. Profit is equal to 5.82 crore minus 1.5 crore is equal to 4.32 crore. Tax at 12% on 4.32 crore equals 51.84 lakhs. After tax, debt gets 2.91 crore minus 0.5184 crore, that is 2.3916 crore. Now second debt bucket starts with 2.3916 crore. Same rules, that is 6% annual growth, expenses start at 12 lakhs plus 6% inflation, but from where? Wait, expenses continue from year 14 onward. Year 14 expense is equal to previous year's expense, which is 21.6 lakhs in year 13 into 1.06, which equals 22.9 lakhs. So second debt bucket must handle higher withdrawals from the start. Second debt bucket lasts shorter because withdrawals are now larger. Let's approximate. For first year, withdrawal rate equals 22.9 lakhs out of 2.3916 crore, which is 9.6%. With 6% growth, net real withdrawal rate is around 3.6% real. In simple depletion math, 2.3916 crore upon 22.9 lakh with initial real withdrawal growing at 6% nominal. But because growth and withdrawal are both 6%, real depletion is linear again. Exact years is around 9.5 years. Let's call it 9 years until the second debt bucket becomes empty. At end of year 23, the second debt is exhausted. What about equity? Half of original 5.82 crore, that is 2.91 crore, stayed in equity for another 9 years at 11% growth. During this time, 2.91 crore grows to 7.44 crore. That's your remaining equity corpus when second debt dies. Now apply the same rule. Split 50% to debt, 50% stays equity. But tax again. Now 7.44 crore is split. So, 3.72 crore stays in equity and 3.72 crore moves to debt. What is the profit on that 3.72 crore? Original cost basis from first equity split was 1.5 crore allocated to this portion. Wait and be careful. The 2.91 crore that stayed in equity had original cost of only 0.75 crore, that is half of 1.5 crore. So profit is 3.72 crore minus 0.75 crore, which is equal to 2.97 crore. Tax this at 12% comes to 35.64 lakhs. After tax, debt gets 3.72 crore minus 0.3564 crore, that is 3.3636 crore. Third debt bucket starts year 24. Year 24 withdrawal is equal to previous year's expense, which was near to 38 lakhs in year 23 and grows to 40.28 lakhs in year 24 with 6% inflation. Third debt bucket is 3.3636 crore. With 6% growth and 6% inflation withdrawals, real depletion is again linear. Years for this bucket is equal to 3.3636 crore upon 40.28 lakh per year, which equals around 8.35 years. So around 8 years. Debt lasts till year 31. Equity partner, which is the 3.72 crore that stayed, grows at 11% for 8 years to 8.57 crore by year 31. Each cycle, debt lasts fewer years because withdrawals compound with inflation. But equity keeps growing fast. In theory, this can go on for decades. But let's simulate until equity gets too small to split meaningfully. We stop when after tax debt bucket is less than 1 year's expense. That happens around cycle 5 or 6. In our simulation, cycle 1 debt is for 13 years. Cycle 2 debt is 9 years. Cycle 3 is 8 years. Cycle 4 is around 6 years. Cycle 5 is around 4 years. Total years from start is around 40 years. So, if you retire at 45, the corpus lasts till age 85. Now, the often forgotten hybrid bucket. 1 crore at 8% growth. For emergencies such as medical, job loss stopgap, or planned upgrades like a car. Let's say you buy a 20 lakh car every 10 years, starting from year 10. So, year 10 withdrawal is 20 lakh. Year 20 withdrawal is another 20 lakh but adjusted for inflation. Let's keep nominal 20 lakh for simplicity, or assume that when costs rise we'll nominally spend constantly for safety. Let's simulate this, year 0 starting with 1 crore. Year 1 to 9, that grows at 8% but no withdrawals except maybe small medical. Let's assume no emergency. End of year 9, 1 crore grows to nearly 2 crore. At year 10 withdraw 20 lakhs and balance is 1.8 crore. Then years 11 to 19 this grows at 8% to around 3.597 crore. Year 20 again withdraw 20 lakh. Remaining amount is 3.397 crore. Years 21 to 29 this grows to 6.79 crore. At year 30 another withdrawal of 20L leaves 6.59 crore. This bucket easily lasts 40 years even with a car every decade. But here's the insight. The hybrid bucket isn't just for cars. It prevents you from touching debt or equity during market crashes or health shocks. In my 20 years as an architect, I learned that redundancy saves systems. Same is for retirement. Without this bucket, a single 20 lakh emergency in year 5 could destroy your debt bucket's duration by 2 to 3 years. First takeaway is that 6% inflation means your 12 lakh expense becomes 48 lakhs in 25 years. Most people underestimate that. In our simulation, debt buckets shrink faster over time. That's why you need equity growth to outrun inflation. 11% equity vs 6% inflation gives 5% real. That's your true survival engine. Second takeaway is that every time you move equity to debt, you pay 12% LTCG on profits. In our simulation, that tax took around 50 lakhs in first rebalance, then around 35 lakhs in second rebalance, and so on. That's money that never grows again. Solutions include smart planning, like rebalancing less frequently, or holding some debt like instruments inside equity like dividend stocks, or use hybrid funds that auto-rebalance. Third takeaway is that a 4 crore corpus sounds huge. But with 6% inflation and 6% withdrawal, debt lasts only for 13 years maximum without equity rebalancing. Many retirees keep everything in fixed deposits earning only 6 to 7% interest and withdraw 8 to 10%. That corpus dies in 12 years. You got 40 years because of disciplined bucket strategy and 11% equity. But 11% is not guaranteed. So here's my question. Have you really planned for early retirement? Not just saved a number, but stress tested it against inflation, taxes, market cycles, and life upgrades? I retired at 45 because I built a system, not a hope. And now I help others do the same. If this video made you uncomfortable, it's good. That's the first step to fixing your plan. You don't need a complex model. You need a second pair of eyes. I'm offering a free 30-minute portfolio review. No products, no commissions. Just an ex-technologist showing you where your retirement architecture has hidden leaks. Comment, retirement plan, and we can discuss your plan. And if you found this breakdown useful, share it with someone who thinks 4 crore is set for life. A 40-year retirement is a marathon. Your corpus is the engine, but the bucket strategy is the transmission. Most people burn their engine in first 10 years. You now know better. I'm Jayant, architect turned planner. See you in the next breakdown.